Colonialism can change a country in many ways. It can be for good or bad. In 1942, Christopher Columbus found Cuba. They arrived on October 28th. They first thought they were in China, but he soon realized he was wrong, but still explored the island. He was not able to find much gold, so he decided he would leave. Before they were about to leave, they saw a lady with golden jewelry, but 2 out of his 3 ships sunk, so they weren't sure what to do. Christopher Columbus convinced 42 of his men to stay and watch over Cuba until he came back. They were there for half a century and killed basically all of Cuba's indigenous population. The Spanish colonized Cuba in 1511. Along with colonization, the Spanish brought races with them, and then later on brought 2 generations worth of slaves with them, which brought more racism to Cuba. In 1868, the Cubans became sick of the Spanish and declared war against them, which is now called the 10 Years' War. The Cubans were unable to overthrow the Spanish, but there were also no victors. Later on, Batista came to power. Many people didn't like him because he was corrupt. He didn't have much power, so many didn't think he was legitimate. Cubans disliked his policies and the way he acted towards them. He was seen as a puppet towards the U.S. Castro promised to rejuvenate Cuba and give her independence. Che Guevara revolutionized Cuba after Batista. When Che Guevara was alive, he did many things. He was a revolutionary who fought against the dictatorship of Fulgencio Batista in Cuba. He tried to create a similar revolution in Bolivia with a small guerrilla group and was killed by the Bolivian army with assistance from the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency. Since he died, he has become the symbol of the revolutionary fighting against unjust military dictatorships like there were many in Latin America between the 1960s and the 1990s. Today, the Cuban government is saying that there is no racism in Cuba, but not too long ago, Roberto Zurbano was fired for writing a piece about your experiences in Cuba depends on your skin color, and many things favor the white people. Roberto Zurbano is an Afro-Cuban. In my opinion, there is still a lot of racism in Cuba and will always be racism in Cuba until the government decides to do something about it.